Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Feels good to be back. I haven't done a weekend video sampling samples, anything like that in quite some time. And coming back from Chicago, shout outs to my amazing Cannoli Mafia family. I figured what better time than talk about a new fragrance from some people that few of you may have known from prior because the creator of the brand frequents a lot of streams, especially everyone here, a part of the Cannoli Mafia, is very familiar with her at this point. And there's somebody else that a lot of people may remember and then kind of did a little bit of tweaking and transformation. Well, today, both of these amazing individuals have collaborated and come out with their own fragrance together. And I myself have a decant. So I'm gonna share my thoughts, share their thoughts, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You're gonna get the impressions, and I'm gonna welcome them right now. First up is the creator of the brand at the end of the day, fellow frequent guest to the show. You know her, you love her. Emily from Shelter and
Hi.
Perfumes. Hi
Hi.
Emily, how you doing?
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. I greatly appreciate it. And I see everyone in the chat. I see you. I appreciate you. I will be highlighting the comments in a second, but I want to bring everyone in, all these amazing people,
Yeah,
you know?
all my favorite people are here.
Exactly. And they're slowly coming in. But we also have one of your favorite people backstage with us right now. So I'm going
We
to go
do.
ahead and bring him in right
Let's
now.
bring
He's
them
one of
up.
my favorite people too, and known him for quite
Ooh.
some time. We are talking about Chris from the Fragtastic, Mr. Fox. How you doing, bro?
What up? What up, Joe? What's up, Emily? How are you?
Great
What's
to
up?
see you.
Great to see you
Great to
too. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, this fragrance actually is smelling really good on me right now, and I had to give it some light. I had to shine some light. I remember, especially with you, shout outs to Juan. I was with Juan in Chicago. Juan was the first live stream on YouTube that you ever went on. And then also co host guested that episode. And we've been cool ever since. We were already cool, but we became closer then. And just, to see you come out with your own fragrance now is really something awesome. And figure we'll let the people talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Of course, of course. Also, shouts to Jonathan Ray, Smokey, King Smokey.
What up,
Of
Smokey?
course, Smokey, big
One of my other
supporter.
favorite people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shouts to Kyler. Great to see Kyler. Uh, we got Hez right here with Bourbon Street, Rue Bourbon, another great fragrance
I
from a
got to
small
try that.
house.
I've been seeing that pop up a lot.
So good. So good. Danimal, great to see you, bro. I'd give you a virtual hug right now. We were hugging so much in Chicago. I miss you, bro. Hope you're well. Fragrance dude, what's going on, Randy? You got my package already? I just sent that out like yesterday. Oh damn. Okay. That's amazing. That means that everybody else's will be coming like in the next couple of days then. Good to know. Shout out to Randy over at Fragrance Dude. Mangenosis. All genres bops. I see you. Thank you. Adam D, another person that I this time last week was seeing. Great to see you. Daniel. Dana Malik remembers Emily. Shout Autumn, another fan
Oh, what up,
favorite.
Autumn?
Hey,
Mr.
Autumn.
Park.
Yes.
So glad you're
Autumn.
here.
Yes. So it's a lot of people. And yeah, no, and you're gonna be awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you. Just glad they got to you. That's I guess the best thing I could say. I'm surprised they got there that fast. I mean, I figured with you being closer to me, you would get it sooner than some, but that was a really fast turnaround. Like I just sent that out on Wednesday. So that's amazing. But yes, so this right here is a decant of a fragrance that recently released. About how
Yes, very recently.
Mm,
Yeah. So,
mhm.
do you mind if I give just kind of like the overview? I
Yeah,
definitely want Chris to share like our experience and everything, but um, you know
absolutely.
how we just get talking and then, we
Do
just go
do
on and
your
on. So I
thing
just
and
like
I'll
to
go
make
to
sure
Chris. So yeah, go
the,
ahead.
the basic here. So, hi, if we don't know each other, I'm Emily. My fragrance brand is Shelter and Perfume. Joe has very kindly linked for you. And this fragrance that I have, I'm the perfumer and Chris is my creative partner. So we did this together, and I think it's a really interesting journey and story that we'll share about. But you know what? It's a very different, if you're familiar with my fragrances at all, it's really different from what I have usually done. And so Chris and I are, it's still part of Shelter and Perfume as a brand, but we have created kind of like a sub brand called Noseblind Scent Productions. And if you know what, matter of fact, if I don't know if they'll get this, but there's a Noseblind is named after, it's a play on a song by, should I tell them who? It's by Black Sabbath. If you know who that is, maybe you get a prize. Or if you know what song that is, I think maybe you'll get a prize. So we are working together as Noseblind Scent Productions. And Chris has a background. He's been in LA and working in TV and entertainment forever. So that's why the productions and presented by and all of this stuff. And we're just gonna, you know what, this is our first one, and I think we've already got a second in the work, so hopefully we're just gonna take this and keep running with it.
Indeed. Well put.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Especially I didn't realize that it was actually going to become like a whole like subgenre. That's
Yeah,
actually a
it's
really
our
great
little
concept.
part of, and hopefully grow with.
I
So
like to make the joke. It's the shack behind the shelter.
hey,
Charles Bryan.
that's a
We're
good one.
starting-
Nah, that's good. Oh, what's Randy saying? I know Black Sabbath, Die Again, Born Young, the Mark Wahlberg movie is after them. There you go. So
Mark Wahlberg movie?
yeah,
Oh, I don't
yeah.
know.
It's I don't know
Yes.
which one either.
What's the name of the? Is it Randy? Randy is fragrance.
Yeah, Randy.
Randy, what's
Let
the
us
name
know,
of this
Randy.
Black Sabbath song?
Let us know. Let us know. But yeah, no. So Chris, tell us where did it come from initially to for the inspiration of the tower? Where did it come for the whole thing to maybe spin off into a whole nother series of things? Share us a little bit of like who you are, because I know who you are, but a lot of
Yeah.
people don't. Tell us a little bit about yourself right now.
So I started, first channel was the Fox Accord. And I was doing reviews and then somehow got locked out of my channel and couldn't get into it. So I started the Fragtastic Mr. Fox. So I, like a lot of reviewers and enthusiasts, I started with just putting myself out there, talking about fragrance and things like that. And it all happened kind of during the COVID lockdown is when I found this community and started watching Ross from TLTG Reviews, and we started communicating, and he kind of was like, you sound super into it, throw yourself out there. So he kind of gave a little bit of a push. And then, yeah, I started doing these videos during a rough time, and it is what it is. But I was going through a divorce, and I was living in Indiana, a very small town, and I'm a city boy. I grew up in New York, and then moved to LA. So I just know Brick City and Big City. So I'm in this like small little town going through this situation, and then I'm turning the camera on and throwing myself out there. And then in the mix, met Emily, and we became friends. We talked life, we talked fragrances, things like that. And I'm trying to not give a super long-winded situation here, but started giving her some of my stories. She was encouraging me through my stuff, and then we got into a chat about one of my fragrances. I used to wear an oil, Egyptian musk. I still wear it. That was my signature scent. Everybody, all my friends knew me by this fragrance, and she found it interesting that it was a fragrance that I wore that doesn't project, it's not loud, this, that, and the third, but that there was a connection with people, with me, with that. And I think the story of my struggle as well, we started, actually, it was a different fragrance. We started, if you, on Instagram, we started pushing something called Tomorrow's Vision.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something we were working very hard on, and it was a lot of different versions of it. We kept kept changing it, and then kind of hit a wall. And Emily, as a perfumer, and even myself, we were just like, we can't take it anymore. We got to stop. She had a perfumer's meltdown, and I respected, and I said, look, like I don't want. I think we also released. We started pushing it on Instagram and letting people know that we had a fragrance, so it put a little bit of pressure on us that it wasn't done. So with that said, we took a break. I said, I don't want to lose you as a friend, blah, blah, blah. Let's just step back. If we don't do one, we don't do one. So many fragrances are coming out. Nobody's going to remember we even talked about a release. Let's just let it be. And then recently, 2-3 months ago, Emily, if that?
Yeah, really recent. Probably January.
Well, January. She was working on this composition, and she's like, I think I'm onto something. I think you're going to like it. And she sent it my way. And the minute I sprayed it and let it settle, I was like, so are we doing this? and it's just mine. This one kind of flowed. It just started happening. And then the story with like the struggle, just, it's not just my story. It's like anybody, the story of the tower. And you could get into this too. She knows more about the tarot cards, but that struggle that you could be somewhere in life, you've been going through such hard times, but you just got to get back up on your feet and get through it type of kind of storyline. And that's kind of been my life the last couple of years since the divorce. So we kind of put that heart and that energy into this fragrance of finding something that's, earthy, it's grounding, but also, I'll let you give your take, ended up having, to me, a little bit of a classic sophistication to it. I don't know if my vintage background influenced her, but somehow she got this kind of vintagey vibe, in my opinion, with it. So, yeah, that's the quick, short story of how this kind of came to be.
That's really, really good. And also too, yes, I do remember Tomorrow's Vision, and in a way, it almost like Tomorrow's Vision ended up being another vision. So
yeah,
I love that.
It is.
hey,
We kept with the theme a little bit, like
Mhm.
Tomorrow's Vision. My mom is a clairvoyant medium, so it's like we kind of were homaging to a psychic type world, and then
Right.
the tower being a tarot card became still like we stayed on that path of like kind of psychic,
Supernatural.
the supernatural.
I know a little
Yeah.
bit about the tarot cards. Let's
Good.
just say, let's just say, in my time, I might have dated one or two people who have dabbled in that. Also, speaking of Ross, shout out.
Hey, Ross.
Hey, what's going on, Ross? Yeah, Chris
Oh
over
yeah,
here
we
gave you a shout out.
You
Of
were,
course. One
nice
of
to see you, Ross.
one of my influences to jump into the game. That's what I was saying, Ross.
Yeah,
But,
so
as busy as he is, he still reaches out. He's a true one.
absolutely no, he's
Keeps up with
great.
it.
He's great. I had the pleasure of spending Chicago with him too this time last week, and great guy. definitely gonna have to spend some more time with him though, because unfortunately a lot of things did not go as planned. Not one video was shot that I intend. I actually kind of had plans for him to try this and do like a video too, and that just, listen, when you're
Yeah,
around as many people and personalities, especially for the first time, you spent more time being in the moment than,
Of course.
trying to do other
as
things. So
as
yeah.
you should. You know, you're just having too much fun. It's funny,
You're
and
welcome.
Chris and I have met in person only one time. One
Mhm.
time. And I don't think I, I you know, I work with Niles from City Rhythm quite a bit. And I think he didn't even know that we had met up for like a month afterwards, that we had
Mhm.
dinner when we were both crossing paths in LA. And
Mhm.
I said, yeah, you know what? I think we were just having too much fun. We didn't even take a picture because we
We
were just
did it.
having too much fun.
We didn't post
Mhm.
it, but
We did nothing. We just had dinner and talked and enjoyed and
yeah, I think
had a nice evening. We didn't, you just having too much fun to
it,
take a
it
picture.
is.
Those are good
This
nights.
community does have this magic about it that we're from all different areas of the country or the world, and then we meet up, and it's almost like we've been friends for years, and that's a special situation. That it's like you feel like that's like you said, you show up in Chicago, whether you met everybody in person or not, all of a sudden it's like everybody's clicking and just so excited. It's almost like a high school reunion with all your boys and whomever's there. So it's pretty awesome. And it was the same thing with
Melissa?
you.
Mhm.
A couple of others, like I met Tyler from Simply Fragrances, and we're super close. And it's like I felt like I grew up with that dude when we started hanging out. So it's it's an awesome community. I love it.
And there's so many, like there's the Instagram community, like those who basically just stay on Instagram. There's the YouTube community who like only stay on YouTube, and then there's the crossovers like me, Ross, a whole bunch of Justin, Copeland, EQ, Equality Fragrances, another awesome person. So
Right.
there's the community is huge, and to everyone who's thinking like, it's another life. I mean, yeah, to a degree, it partially is, but at the same time, like it ends up overlapping very much. So, also, hey, Melissa, great stream a little bit ago. Melissa Villanueva, y'all make sure y'all check her channel out. Another
There's
person. Mhm.
there's also the people we only see on Facebook too.
That
So
them too.
and
Yeah,
they have friends who are on other platforms. So it really is like a wide net of a wide array of people everywhere.
exactly. But yeah, no. So getting more into the tower and the tarot, Emily, because
Yeah.
you and I may be able to relate a little. Again, I might have dated one or two women who, just a couple, might have been
Just
into
a
this
couple.
a few
One or
times.
two turns into 4 and 5 or whatever.
Six
Um,
and nine, 69, 629, whichever way. But yeah, no, definitely there's been a couple. But yeah, for those who don't know, the tower, the card, the representation, all of that,
you
and the
tell us.
vision, the vision behind it. Please let me. Well, it's more so because of the vision
Yeah.
side. Like, why the tower for this one? Because I mean, I could say this is like a really bold fragrance, not intimidating bold.
Mhm,
It is earthy. It's grounding.
mhm.
There's a sense of like structure with it for sure. When I'm smelling this so far, the various woods, the sandalwood, the cedarwood,
Mhm.
and just the earthiness. This is like a mood setting fragrance for me, in my opinion, that
Mhm.
is just, I'm I feel like a badass when I'm wearing this fragrance, honestly.
Hey,
That's awesome to hear.
I love that.
And Ross will tell you, Melissa will tell you, Danimal will tell you, I'm not the tallest person in the room, but when I was wearing the tower, I felt like I was a tower. So I felt like I was, 9 feet tall while
Hey,
wearing this.
love
So
it. I love that.
so yeah, but it's grounding. It makes you think. It transitions. The frankincense, nice touch. Um, and I mean, it's from what I've picked up. I get a lot of the frankincense smokiness,
Mhm.
and I get the woods. It almost comes off patchouli like, but in general, that's a lot of what I get is like just my mysteriousness tends to linger a little bit more with this to leave
Yes.
people wondering what else is there. It's not all ray and sunshine. Towers have cracks, towers have wear and tear like any house does or any building
Yes.
structure.
I love this. I love this. And there's more. I like this kind of visual or idea about there being more below the surface to it, not being
Mhm.
all my most of the things I make, if not all of them, are
Mhm.
very happy and sunshiny.
Oh yeah.
And that's just because fragrance makes me happy. And so this really pushed me. Part of why
Mhm.
I had a perfumer's meltdown. That this really pushed me. I think that people who have tried my fragrances before will be very surprised that there is a darkness to it.
Mhm.
The tarot card talks about destruction.
Mhm.
And it's look like Shaq.
That's
About
hilarious.
destruction and even in an inevitable sort of destruction and upheaval, where the tower, whatever that may symbolize, whether it's I think relationship is probably the easiest association. Any kind of relationship was actually maybe built on shaky ground.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
also possible, maybe in all different, because I had like, oh God, numerous tower moments, as they're called, last year, where I just had people leaving my life all the time. And some of them I was glad to see go. Some of them I was like, go on, go. And some of them were gut-wrenchingly devastating. And it taught me a little bit of something about friendship relationships, which is that we don't always give them as much attention and care as we do to, say, like a romantic relationship, where it's so important to us to communicate, and we work, we bring up, we have conflicts and we work through them, hopefully, or at least that's the idea too. And we sort of have this perception of friendship as friendship being friends are forever.
Yeah.
And it can come to light that we might not be maybe we're not taking the best care of our friendships as we should. And that's when those cracks and things emerge. Even, lightning strikes and a fire breaks out and the tower crumbles. And it can feel like, like it can almost feel like the world is ending.
Right.
But the world is not ending just because people are leaving. It's ending so that something else can begin, right?
Mhm.
As hard as that can be to see in the moment.
And
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
feel like you captured that in the composition. That's what I found amazing, because going with my own like story and background, it's like, for me, the fragrance goes in those 3 levels. Like going through the divorce, the beginning, it's like bitter. The fragrance to me opens up slightly bitter with that dark mandarin, and like spruce kind of comes up on my skin. It tends to like play with people's skin a little differently. I've been getting different things, but with it, it's like that bitterness, and then it starts getting through that dark parts. You got some Turkish rose, that black spruce hangs around, the black tea, and some of the things. And then it finally, in that third transition, you're like getting through the clearing and it's smoothing out. It's creaming up a bit. It's getting a little more bold. Like you're getting strong again. Like the base is where you're strong. That's where, like you saying, you felt like a tower when you wear it. But that's what I love, how you caught that, if that was what you meant. But I was like, man, she really captured that 3 levels of like either emotional breakdown or the levels of going through something, getting through the storm, something to that level. So that's what kind of my mind breaks it down with when I smell it.
And that's a true story. I mean, it's a true story in that it's true, but it's also what a story truly is. You know, when we talk about a fragrance story, I'm a fragrance storyteller. Okay, what's the story? The story is not just what it looks like in your mind. It's that something happened. And to capture that in a fragrance, to tell that sort of story through the fragrance and take somebody really literally on a journey, not just what it smells like and what the things that you envision in your mind. I'm sitting in a coffee shop or whatever. It's that something changed. And I think that can be very powerful. I don't know if that appeals to, that obviously I think appeals to the frag heads of the world. I don't know how deep most people like to think about their fragrances, but either way.
Well, I've worn it to work, and I'm around a lot of people. I do work in entertainment on sets and stuff, so I'm around a lot of people. Most normal people, non-frag heads or whatever, like are used to designer smells. On the straight dry down, like I was getting good feedback when people smell the woods and stuff. It's like
familiar,
a little easier. But I think for a newer or a normal person, a designer, they're used to designers or whatever, is going to smell that opens, not used to niche or indie. They could be thrown for a loop for a second. Like my buddy was over and he sprayed it. And he was like, "Whoa!" But then I'm like, "Where it settle with it?" And then he was like, "Damn, this thing is like," because he's used to the Sauvages or just Versace PROMs. He's just like, they all smell great, but they don't really go through those levels on your skin. They burst out and they kind of smell like what they're going to smell like throughout the fragrance.
Exactly.
So it's kind of fun to see people go through that journey with a fragrance a little bit, or be open-minded to it. Because I've had a couple people spray it and like, "Oh, it's not for me." I'm like, "How long are you wearing it?" I'm like, it could not be for you, that's fine. But if you're wearing it for 3 seconds, like give it a minute, walk around with it. Tell me in an
wear
hour.
It once or twice, right?
It's a little different, if you're not used to, buying these type of fragrances.
Especially when it's telling a story. Like you're not gonna be told the story in 3 seconds. This one is meant to tell a story. So like you're not gonna walk into a movie and know the whole thing from plot beginning to end and then just walk out as the credits are starting. So I mean, some movies you will. You're like, "Oh, okay, this is a rom-com. It's gonna be insert joke here, insert this, guy's a nerd, guy gets girl, the end." Yes, of course. But like when it really like is meant to tell a story or tell the tale of somebody, especially somebody that is still coming up in the world, like you are, Chris, and like you are, Emily, as a perfumer, it's going to be more of a time consuming thing. You're going to actually have to be present and really give it the time and care when wearing something like this. Not saying that this is completely off-putting and you'll never have a place to wear this, but this isn't going to be the most mass appealing thing either, that you're just going to grab it, throw it on for every occasion, and everything will just work out either. Like it definitely takes some time when you spend with it to then also, once you appreciate it, then it's something you'll always go back to, like your favorite book or like your favorite movie. That is like, okay, I can definitely revisit this multiple times and multiple ways. This is good. I do have to say, I am impressed with the time, and I'm not gonna say I've been wearing this, because I got this right before I went to Chicago. This was not a place and space for me to there's also a reason why I didn't have the chance, because I did spray it very first time in Chicago when I first woke up, also coming off of drinks at the bar. And I was like, Nah, this, not that this isn't for me. This isn't the situation right now. Like for me to sit there and like think and hypothesize and just sit here looking like one of those, Greco-Roman statues and everything, it wasn't gonna work right then and there. But
No,
once
you were not I imagine there was probably not a lot of thinking and philosophizing time. You guys were having too much other
exactly.
good time. There's a time and place for all that stuff.
Hey, that the fragrance that Zaharf is releasing now with Joey called Triple X. It's called Triple X for a reason, and that mentality with the thought process and just trying to be philosophical in that moment, definitely clashing. Also, oh my gosh, hi Yara, I miss you. Great to see you. Shout out to Yara Hillary over at the Burrow Nerdy Fragrance Reviews.
Oh yes, hello, ladies.
But yeah, no, this is, once I sat down with this week, that is when I was like, okay, this is why I need to go ahead and have this type of video, sit down with them, talk to them a little bit more. Also, this way, other people can begin to understand, and at least now, when they'll give it a chance now because they've heard a little bit more than just purchase the fragrance.
Yes. That kind of careful, very thoughtful conversation is, well, I think Chris and I kind of like live for that sort of thing. But we also really, I mean, appreciate and respect it so much. And the fact that anybody even picks up on that stuff or is willing to spend the time with it is incredibly flattering and I think very rewarding to us.
Right.
Any perfumer or brand.
I think that's where we connected as well, because there's a lot of reviewers and we're all different and have different styles. But me, it's like I really am into perfumery. Like Emily's been super kind and we've done classes together. That was one of the things. She's like, I'm gonna purchase an online class when I was in Indiana. And she's like really injecting me into it. And then I always want to smell like the raw materials. I want to know what the actual single material smells like. So she's been introducing me to that, and it's changed the whole game for me as even a fragrance reviewer. And I'm starting to push that with some of my closer friends, like get the raw materials. Your nose changes quite a bit, and your skill level as a fragrance reviewer or critic or whatever you want to call yourself, you definitely have a different view once you really start knowing what you're smelling, especially when it comes to niche and indie, because they're more of like an art form, in my opinion.
Definitely.
I got Dave from Cali's Room, best hair in the biz.
Exactly. Well, second best. I'm sorry.
Best,
I'm gonna take credit from him now. No, I'm just joking. Dave is great. Loved his hair. I actually tried to mess with his hair when I saw him in December, and it still stayed in place. So yeah, he wins best hair. Love you, bro. Great to see you, Dave.
Sturdiest hair.
He goes for a hurricane or a twister, and his beard and hair is going to be, his clothes would be off his body, but his hair and beard.
Exactly. Everything will stay in place. Didn't need to hear anything of purchased beforehand. Awesome. Shout out to Smokey. Hell yeah. Definitely.
Smokey has been such an awesome supporter for me and now for us. And I just appreciate that kid.
Nah, Smokey's great. Always been around to support a lot of different things. I know he supported unAVERAGE Patch. He supported Making Sense. He supported you, the streams, Juan, Joey. So just across the board, really appreciate it. Oh, look, Randy's back, just like that. Appreciate it.
Hi again, Randy.
Hi again. Hi, bye, Randy. Yeah. Settle down, Joe. So let's actually discuss a little bit more. So did like how much of your actual background, Chris, played a part into this release in comparison to maybe the release that actually didn't happen? Like, was it something that really influenced it, partially influenced it? Was this more of like who you are as a person? Like, which one kind of, how did this go for this release?
I feel like we had that vision for the first one and we were on that path, but we just couldn't get there with it. It was a totally different scent profile. We kept adding things. It just became like this crazy thing this puzzle we couldn't complete. And it's crazy is that, the break is when Emily came back with something of what we were really trying to gear for, like capture the scent profile, the structure, the darkness in it, the bright, just the whole structure of it. So it's just kind of like came out of nowhere. She captured it more in this one, in my opinion. This is, I wouldn't say my personality, but from end of 2019 till recently, pretty much, my life was changed. I had a brain injury happen on set when I was working. Somebody dropped a drill from 12 feet that knocked me for a loop. Then got into a relationship that just didn't work. That was heartbreaking. And then that ended. And then finding this community and then being somewhere like out of a big city, out of my comfort zone and being in solitude somewhere. And my only outlet was, you would never know, but I started videos when I was in the most painful part of my life. And this community kind of was like therapy for me, me talking about fragrance and getting it out and meeting people like Emily. So she captured somehow in this fragrance and this, we reached it finally, that she made that composition and caught all that strife and then that clearing that finally, like, because she watched that whole evolution, that I was in a bad place. And you were like one of the only people to realize. I would post a video and she would text me and say, something's wrong today. You're a little off. I'm forcing myself to look happy on camera. So it was,
I could tell.
Great. She was very intuitive with that. So yeah, it's crazy, man. It's just like, and it just stayed with the first fragrance, that struggle stayed, but it showed how strong, like in this particular relationship, like I had one failure that was an intimate relationship, but in a business friendship relationship, we made it work. Like we hit a wall, but we took some time, communicated, let it breathe, and then sometimes something beautiful is born from it.
Yeah.
And that's really the tower. So yeah.
I think
I feel like I just babbled a whole bunch of stuff. I don't even know what I just said.
Nah.
But if that made sense, I hope everybody got the story.
I think
they got it.
I think a part of it is, and I think JJ Colburn and Sebastian Furtado, and I think we touched on this in the Effluvium episode earlier this week on Colburn's channel, that when we have expectations cause us a lot of suffering, right? We expect something to go a certain way, whether good or bad, puts a lot of pressure on us, and having no expectations. I know this sounds like sort of kind of weird maybe, but like I don't really personally try to expect anything most of the time. If I can, try to avoid that. And even like kind of goal setting is just really not my thing, because I don't like the sort of like inflexibility of that, and sort of the like then if I don't do it, then it's a failure or whatever. And I don't want to disappoint myself, and I don't want to like set myself up with these expectations I can't do, and maybe that's the perfectionist that's in a lot of us. But I think when the pressure is off and you have a mindset baked in because you've spent all of these, all this time and months with somebody working on something, it just, a perfume is ready when it tells you it's ready.
Yeah.
It does. You don't rush it. You will be very disappointed. So you have to let it have its time. And you honestly, I think can, and I don't know if this is way, way out there, but I think you can detect a perfumer's mindset in their composition. Like, I think you really can kind of, and maybe that's more of a perfumer's thing, or people who are more familiar, sort of, or have a very deep knowledge. Probably not the common wearer, but you can't, when you smell something that seems very disjointed or chaotic, it's because the perfumer was in a disjointed, chaotic, maybe not the most disciplined or the most focused. And some things you can just, I don't know, you can tell a little bit about what's going on with a perfumer's mind. And actually, speaking of giving things time and space to do what they need to do, especially chemicals, because chemistry doesn't care with your launch goal date.
No, and
it's going to do what it wants to do. So we have something else in the works. I don't know when you want to touch on that, Joe, but you're certainly welcome to, if you so desire. I know you just got it, so no pressure on it.
Oh, that.
oh,
That
Okay.
one,
Yes.
I just opened that a couple of weeks ago. I found it. I did not know I still had it. It was dated 11/5/22, amber in parentheses, hopefully darker. And that was it. And I was like, what the heck is this?
honestly, I feel like Tomorrow's Vision, the first round, had like 15 versions of it.
Minimum.
And it smelled good. It smelled really, really good. It just was a little sweeter and a little more floral. I'd say that composition was getting a little bit more on the feminine side, lean feminine.
Emily, too much Emily.
It was Emily. And I think that's also too, like, in a healthy relationship, you push each other and take each other out of one another's comfort zones. And I think that push too, I do that with you, Emily, and you do that with me, that it's like, oh, let's try these materials, let's do this, go in this direction, because I was pushing you in like a darker direction,
And
and
I
you're
was,
very
no,
like,
I'm afraid.
yes, and you're like, no, but we're running through a field of flowers right now, and I'm like, oh, I need dark woods, I need to smell fire in the background. I'm like, you know, it really pushed each other to take that risk. And that's what's kind of, to me, amazing with the tower, how with that space you were able to really own that risk, and like, okay, and whatever you did in the lab, you went totally a different direction in the shelter.
Focused.
And then with that said, as we were making, I wouldn't even say they're mistakes, because I still say we could even release that other fragrance, Tomorrow's Vision, it would smell great, but this other little baby was born, and that's the
Unnamed.
You know, a thing. That's how, like, and that's a part of Nose Blind. We didn't expect. I said, are we becoming something? Is this a subdivision of Shelter, like the darker rock and roll corner of the Shelter? So yeah, she found this little mini recipe she started that was part of Tomorrow's Vision, and we still got a little work to do with it, but some people have gotten little samples already of it. Did you get it, Joe? Did Joe get one or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a little just a taste of what I think. It's kind of fun to do that, to be a part of the journey and allow people that are buying your fragrances. And I think at an indie level, you could do that. That we're kind of giving you an idea where we're going with something that's going to be in the near future. But
absolutely. Speaking of near future, want to give a personal shout out to a guy who's always thinking ahead with his content, and that is Rich Mitch. Thank you for the £2, sorry, $2, wrong country, £2 super chat. Hello, great channel, y'all. Make sure y'all check out Rich Mitch. Also, another person who's always thinking ahead is my bro HB at the House of Hashim. Great fragrance. Y'all make sure y'all check his stuff out. Cuddle Butter, Vino Porto, just whatever he does, the man doesn't miss. I'm a fan. Joey Cannoli is a fan. So many people are a fan. And apparently, Chris, Emily, HB is a fan because he got his tower in today and he's absolutely loving it. So
I
That's
I
awesome
saw
stuff.
that he posted that. Thank you again, Hashim, for doing that.
Hmm.
Hashim also enjoyed HeartSpark very much, or his wife did, or um, there was a HeartSpark tacular going on in the house of Hashim, which I really, really appreciated too. So thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting.
Thank you. Humbled by
I
it.
bought that to Chicago also, the blue version that you
Uh-huh.
gave, the hard spark, because I figured, of course, I'm gonna be there, triple X event and everything else. It's more
Everything.
fitting. So yeah, no, I ended up wearing that for like an early morning. We had breakfast together. So now at least I'll always have that memory of
Oh,
like
that's
all of
sweet.
us having breakfast right before the prom. Uh
Oh,
yeah, so that before it really got wild and intense, it was definitely a good time. Oh yeah, that's a hit in my house. Okay, okay.
good, good.
Shout shout out to HB. But yeah, no, I do have a sort of the thing that you sent me for sure, and I appreciate that. I do gotta say, like, this that dry down, yes. I'm a big sandalwood, cedarwood junkie, and especially
It,
sandalwood.
You're talking about the tower?
The tower really quick before I go to this. I will be doing like a formal like first impressions of this, but just to like almost like wrap it up with a bow with in regards to the tower. Y'all need to check this out. It's really, really good. Emily, in regards to just where everything is, do you feel like this is like, how like sports athletes, they're like, you always remember your first championship, you remember your first one because it's like you actually did it. I know that like a lot of these darker scents are a little bit more challenging for you. Do you feel like this is the hill now and now you're in like a whole new groove with a whole new, you got a new attitude?
I got a new attitude. I got a new lease on life. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what? Maybe. Uh
Okay.
maybe. I mean, I also like I don't know. I've just this past year I've been pushing myself more. I don't personally really love gourmands.
Hmm.
But I released Les Bonbons d'Emily, and that surprised the heck out of me. And I've got other like I've got,
Outstanding.
oh God, I have little things all around the place that are
Hmm.
works in progress, and other gourmands, percolating. So that may be a thing. I,
Okay.
I don't know. And the darker ones, uh, I think that Chris is bringing a little of the like the masculine side of things. It's sort of it's I don't know how we even started talking about that sort of thing, but when we started like chatting, getting to know each other, we must have started talking about music a lot.
it was music taste and things like that. Punk scene,
Yeah.
rock.
Got you.
Yeah, very metal.
I have a Misfits tattoo. She's a Danzig fan. So it's like I think that rock and roll and that dark side. And I like darker fragrances too. Like, aquatics and certain things are growing on me as I'm getting older. Emily just is not the biggest fan of aquatics. She says she'll never make an aquatic, but I already pitched one that would be a dark aquatic.
Okay.
That's great. You're gonna do
Yeah.
that, and I will
Yeah.
support all the way.
But
I think that's fantastic.
we'll get there. Slow process. But yeah, I think that's our personalities, and it really is. It's like she has two sides to her now, and she has her more feminine line or wherever the shelter goes, but this will be kind of the darker vibes. As you see, the scent profile on the amber is definitely going in a darker direction as well. So
Yes.
I
So
think that's fun. It shows her diversity and her growth. That's been amazing as a friend, and I've put my nose on all of her stuff except for Vineyard. And I've seen that growth in my friend and her skills and taken that
yeah.
risk. So it's been fun to watch as well.
Yeah.
We get there together, right?
Indeed. We shall try.
Absolutely. So I think it's the moment of truth. I want to do a proper first impression on this sample and
Whatever
kind of
it's
see.
called.
And it's like kind of like in its baby stage. It still might get a little tweaks here and there. We've been
Of
talking
course.
about it. Emily's gonna, I'll leave her alone in the lab, in the shack, in the back shack.
The shack. I'm going outside to the shack.
Yeah.
And,
Dim
we've
lighting,
definitely
black
talking
and
about
tab.
some
Yeah.
directions. Yeah.
So I smelled it from about right here. So for point of reference, this is the only thing I have right now. Forget, but Le Labo lotion bottle length, basically. This is amber. This is amber all the way. A little bit dry, dusty, woody. It tells a different tale than something like the Tower. You know.
That's
You
gonna
know
be
what you're saying is exactly what exactly the you know, where everybody smells things a little differently, and my husband said the same thing about, he said it smells to me like a very, very clean workshop, not a messy garage with tools all over, but a very clean workshop. So you're getting that dusty, slightly dusty, dry wood.
With the amber.
Mhm.
You know, like, I guess not that this is literally the playoff, but from my perspective, if the Tower was like a the Tower, and again, like, this may not even have anything to do with the exact same two things, but just for a visual, the Tower is everything going on the outside of a tower during a rainy, tumultuous, just dreary, dark time and day. There's cracks, it's rocks, it's wet, but at the same time earthy. It's stable. There's structure, but it's a tower that is in the rain. This fragrance, at least off of the initial spray, is once the rain clears and the sun has come out, and everything on the inside, it has an identity now. The tower is like, okay, I weathered the storm. I'm here.
I love this.
I love that.
Well, I love that too. It's beautiful. And you know what? Whether or not anything like that, whether or not it has to do with a perfumer or a brand's intention, it means something to you, and that means everything to us. Sort of like the death of the author, I suppose.
Exactly.
Right? It takes on its own meaning, and what the writer, perfumer, whatever artist intended doesn't matter to the wearer. It's what it means. It means something to you.
It's like it is like, I could see that, like, the rain is gone, the sun is out, the wood is drying, the fire's just been put out. It's a little touch of smoke in there somewhere. I get a little, almost on my skin, it opens up a little like boozy dry, with a little bit of like smokiness to it, like this, like, you know, a little bit of smoke in the distance. But yeah, it's a nice little thing to work off of. And it's a dry. I'm used to sweet amber. A lot of people used to like real sweet ambery stuff.
Yeah, almost vanilla. Yeah.
This is like a different take. That one other person that bought the tower, Oscar, he said it almost has a tobacco-like vibe. He was asking me if tobacco was in it, and I was like, I said no, it's just like a drier amber. So I thought that was kind of fun, that an amber could give that illusion of tobacco if it's done in a different form.
Yeah, this is nice. This is nice. Sorry, go ahead, Emily.
It's gonna be on you for quite a long time. It's a very high oil content. It's the dilution rate is it's not as diluted as many. It's very high. It's definitely extrait level. Yeah, you probably see a little bit of a sheen on there.
Like oil, like it shoots out.
Yeah, it's not all the way ready for atomizer prime time.
No,
but you know, just the preview aspect of it. And amber is very interesting because it's what we call a fantasy note. It doesn't really exist. Well, there
Exactly.
is fossilized amber, but it's extremely expensive and not as commonly used. So when we're making amber, we're using an amber note or fragrance. We're using a lot of the things that you smell, but depending on the proportions you use them, it can bring out different aspects. So a sweeter amber, it will have more vanilla. A spicier amber may have more labdanum or more patchouli. A more woody amber will have more benzoin, let's say. So it's really, amber is not just one thing. It can be almost anything.
And that dry wood sensation didn't, not that it doesn't last, but it doesn't stay that dusty dry. It starts to transform already within the 5 minutes that I've sprayed it. So don't think that if you are spraying this, you're gonna smell like, home ec, or not home ec. What was the
Oh,
workshop?
shop class or something like
Shop
that.
class or something. Yeah, no, that's not gonna be the case. But there's very loosely, not that this is, because none of your stuff has ever been like clones of anything, but very loosely, this reminds me of something like Bois Can or Sahara Noir from Tom Ford. Just very loosely, like
Okay.
that dry, spicy, amber, slightly woody toned. Definitely. Yeah, no, this is very interesting, and I'm definitely going to look forward to whatever comes of this, whatever comes of Noseblind Productions,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
of course, Shelter and Perfumes. Great stuff for sure. And
Thank you.
yeah, no, I definitely recommend, implore anyone who hasn't tried the tower yet, who hasn't tried any of Emily's stuff, who hasn't followed either of their channels on Instagram that I've posted and is in the description box. I definitely recommend take some time, because a lot of creativity is going into these, and that seems to be the new direction of where fragrances are going as
Yeah.
a whole, especially as niche becomes more and more of a thing. I've been talking about that more with like certain customers as they walk in um
Yes.
to my store. They're like, "Oh, do you know about this niche brand? Do you know?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know about every brand." But
Oh yeah,
yes.
now you're surrounded by it now. But I think with that said,
Mhm.
it's if you're a fragrance collector, and some people like even with designer world, to me, it's getting super redundant, especially in the designer realm. Like and if you're a collector, I mean, some people want every bottle and good for them, but for me, sometimes I'm like, I don't need the same scent profile, just tweaked a little bit. Like, oh, this one's got a little bit more apple than the last one. It just, there's no art form to it. So I think it is exciting at the indie level, and some of the bigger niche houses still taking those risks, that they're really playing with naturals and certain things that people aren't used to. And I think that's what our community, true enthusiasts want. They want their nose to be tested and their brain to make them think. And a lot of big reviewers from small to big, I get that a lot lately, that we're bored of the same stuff. Like, I don't need another Born in Roma. I don't need another YSLY. I have 2 or 3 of them already. The new
Right.
Intense doesn't smell anything different really to me than the other ones. The only time I'm really tested my nose is when I get smaller indie groups or certain niche houses. So
Mhm.
I think
Absolutely.
just depends your thing. It's all subjective, of course.
Very much so. I would say, like you said, this is going to be a fragrance more so made for the enthusiasts, not the mass appealers. Although there are some that Emily has, like Le Bonbon, or
Right.
a few others that definitely, if it's just, oh, I want something fun that'll like,
Yeah.
just easy to throw on. I even feel like the one that you don't have anymore, the cannabis one that Josh
Oh,
might love.
Sony de Vetiver. I may bring that back sometime. We'll see. We'll
One
We'll
see.
I didn't try.
see.
I didn't try that one.
We'll see, but definitely oh, and I met Josh last weekend. Big
Oh,
fan, and dude,
good.
in person. He was there and just like wow, that dude's Chris, just for context, Josh was somebody who not even on YouTube, you know, of course, how Joey will do his mutant nights and just randomly pluck somebody from Omegle or something. Had a
Yeah.
conversation with him. Josh kept coming around, and then Josh just supported me and Joey, and he saw the second time I had first or second time I had Emily on this channel, and he purchased his first ever actual fragrance that wasn't Old Spice, and it ended up being
was so cute.
Songe de Vetiver, and that's like his signature scent now, and just everything like that. But just like the stories and the memories and everything that comes from this entire community, from these fragrances that are made, from the thoughts, the conversations, that's what all this is about. And the tower is now a living, breathing proof that, hey, time, everything will get you somewhere, you know?
That's right. I have can I show you I'm sure you probably have to get going and everything, Joe, but I wanted to show you its box.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, so here's the box. It comes in a tower.
Custom made boxes.
Yeah. And you can see and lift it. Well, you open it from the top. I'm kind of challenged when it comes to this sort of a like puzzle doing.
Right.
But then it comes in here. I don't have a full-size bottle filled up right now, but they've been going out. But yeah, so it comes like this. And comes in a tower.
It's like a little art project.
Art project.
No, I saw that and I was like, that's awesome too. The fact that it even will come in like that.
Yeah,
Definitely
lot of time and love went into it. The bottles are etched. It's like, you know, Emily really swung for the fences with it. So I gotta say, it's dope.
Right?
Let's do it. She's like, if we're gonna do it, let's do it.
Well, bravo for sure. Great job to both of you. Just great fragrance. Y'all make sure that y'all check out the tower, check out all of Emily's Shelter and Perfumes fragrances. Follow her on Instagram. Follow Chris on Instagram with the content he releases. Support the content creators. And yeah, no, this is something worth checking out. And it's readily affordable for what it's worth, especially the decants, the fragrance, no matter what.
And some of the proceeds go to a charity. If
that's right.
Got it. Go ahead.
I tend to not really talk about that so much, but yeah, so it's important to both of us that we give back to community organizations. And when I asked Chris what he what he thought would be a good organization to give back to with sales of the tower, and he said something for kids. And so we chose an organization based in the South that advocates for LGBTQ individuals and communities, and especially protecting trans kids. So we'll be giving back to Campaign for Southern Equality. And there's various ones around the South where trans and LGBTQ non-binary kids are in very serious danger in direct harm's way.
Great cause. No, absolutely. And then giving back, I just got my sample pack, but for everyone else that says they're low on stock, get it while you can. For me, I got plenty. Shout out to Mr. Got Plenty. Mr. Got Plenty supports us too. Shout out to Mr. Got Plenty, MGP. I appreciate you for all of the support that you've shown in general. It means a lot. And yes, I'm sure they do too. And let me know, Mr. Got Plenty, how it goes for you. I'm gonna want to know that. Let me know. But
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think this is a nice bow, a nice wrap up for this episode. You know, it gave people a little bit of this, a little bit of that. They apparently got a first impressions that into some, you know, future work. So all of that being said, I appreciate you both for stopping by. I look forward to seeing what else comes. I appreciate everyone in the chat.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you later in the next episode. Y'all make sure y'all have a good one. Later.
Thanks, everybody.
So much means the world.